Welcome on in. My name is Brittany and I'm glad that you're here. Today we're going to be covering a song because playing songs is a great way to apply musical concepts and they help you stay motivated to keep playing piano. So hopefully you'll like this one. It's called You Are the Living Word and it starts off nice and easy with your primary chords. So we'll talk about that and a number of other things. Let's go ahead and jump in and take it to the keyboard. So we're going to be in C major today. And the C is the 1, the D is the 2, E is the 3, F is the 4, G is the 5, A is the 6, B is the 7, and then we're back to the 1 when we get up here to C. So essentially what we're going to be starting off with are chords based off of our primary chords, which are the 1, the 4, and the 5 in any key. So that's going to be C major, F major, and G major in this case. And so what I'd love for us to do is to play that first chord in what's called second inversion, which is just essentially when we have the C, instead of being in the bottom here, it's in the middle. And so the reason I love playing chords oftentimes in second inversion, especially when you're starting a song, is because it really helps you to get to other popular chords pretty quickly. So from this one chord, I know that my 4 chord is right here. If I just want to pivot my fingers here, and then the 5 chord is right next door to the 4 chord. So all I have to do is slide it up to the G, B, D. So this song just starts with those 3 chords, right? 1, the 4, and the 5. And so we can go ahead and add the bass. So in the bass, now normally you would play what would be called the root note of the chord. But today I would love us to play the middle or the E in the bass. So we're going to play the E with the 1 chord in the right hand, then move to the 4 chord with the root in the bass, and then slide it on up to that 5 chord with the G in the bass. And essentially what that does is it makes a nice smooth bass line. Look at that. Just like that, instead of 1, 4, 5. Slightly different sound. So we're going to go with the 1 chord and the E in the bass to the 4 chord and then slide it on up to the 5 chord. And we're going to repeat that 3 times. That's how the song goes. So I'll do it nice and slowly here so we can get an idea of what it sounds like. Now that's the 3rd time. And actually I should probably put the song lyrics on top so it makes a little more sense in context. Bread of heaven, sent down from glory, many things, and that's the 3rd round right there. So that's the first part of the song, just the 1, the 4, and the 5, and we repeat that cycle 3 times. And now, of course, you can always pause this video, kind of work through it and get it into your fingers, but then when you're ready, come on back for the next part of the song. So this is a really cool aspect of this particular song. It's moving in what's called a cyclical progression. So what does that mean? The cyclical progression just means that the chords are moving in what we would call the circle of fourths and fifths. And so if you've ever heard of this term before, then you know that I'm talking about how all of the notes on the piano are on like this circle in a very particular order. So let me just show you what that looks like here. So this is the circle of fourths and fifths, and essentially, without going too much into the theory of it, or maybe I will at some point if you guys want to see a video or about, you know, a little bit about what that is, let me know. But essentially what's happening here is we're going to be moving in accordance to this circle. And so we're going to be going from an E chord up to an A chord, up to a D chord, then to a G chord, a C chord, and yes, you guessed it, an F chord. So we're literally going to be going halfway around this circle in this particular order. And that's why it's called cyclical, meaning cycle. It's going in a motion that is consistent with the circle of fourths and fifths. And as you can see up here, we're actually moving in the direction of the circle of fourths. By the way, that right there is a cheat code, okay? Because in a lot of music, and especially in gospel, you're going to hear progressions that move in a cyclical fashion. But maybe more on that another time. You guys let me know. So with that being said, once you have done the 1, the 4, and the 5, and you've repeated that 3 times, this next part of the song is going to move like this. So we're going to play an E major chord, and then we're going to play an A minor chord. So one of the things that you want to begin to think about as you're growing in music is this idea of what's called voice leading. So voice leading is essentially just when you're going from one chord to another, you want to be aware of or cognizant of the notes that are in the chord that you just played and the notes that are in the chord that you're about to play. Because if there are commonalities between those two chords, then it makes that movement a little bit easier by just keeping those notes. Does that make sense? So if I have C, E, G, and then I'm going to a chord that has F, A, C, well, they both have a C in common. So when I'm playing that chord, I can just keep the C where it is. I don't have to move my hand, right? I can just minimize any extra unnecessary movement between the two chords. So not only is that more efficient as a player, it's also more pleasing to the ear. So that's what we want to begin to look at. And when we do that, and we look at this E major chord, and we look at the A minor chord, which is the 6th, we see that they have a note in common, and that's an E. And I'll actually put it up here so you can kind of see. So they both have an E. So what we're going to do is, instead of moving the E all the way up here, what we're going to do is we're just going to keep that E where it is. We're going to move this G sharp to A and this B to C. And now we still have that A minor chord, we just have it with the E on the bottom, which happens to be called second inversion. I won't make this lesson too theory heavy. I kind of want us to just be able to play the song, so I will slow my roll. Okay, so let me just walk through the chords. All right, so we've got E major to A minor. Then we're going to do this exact same type of motion right down here on the D major. So D major is going to turn into G major. And as you can see, it's just these top two notes are moving. And then we're going to do the same thing from the C major to the F major. So all together, E major to A minor, D major to G major, C major to F major. So let me put that into context of this song, right? Bread of heaven sent down from glory, many things you were on earth, a holy king, a carpenter. So that's how it all fits together. I'll do that one more time a little bit more slowly, right? So we can kind of see how it works in motion. So after we've done our 1, 4, 5, 3 times, from here we're going to that E major chord and then the A minor. Remember just to move these two top notes. You go to A in the bass. Now let's do it again, going to the D. And then from the D up to the G major. Remember just to move these top two notes. All right, and then C major and C in the bass. And then we're going to move the top two notes to the F and the A. All right, so again, you can kind of pause here and kind of work through that. Just until it gets into your hands. But the cool thing is it is a similar motion, so once you got it, it'll be a little bit easier to do it across those three chords. And then from there, once you're here, you've got the 4. What you can do is going from the 4 to the 5 here, which is G, and in the right hand, you just want to do that melody at the very end of the song, which is you are the living word. That's do, re, mi, re, do, do. So slowly, do, re, mi, re, do, do. You are the living word. So that is the full song, okay? Well, not the full song, but the part that I'll cover for today. So let me just go ahead and I'll do it again all together so you can hear everything in context. Bread of heaven, sent down from glory, many things you were on earth, a holy king, a carpenter, you are the living word. And there you have it, a little part of a song that you can begin to work on, have fun with, and things like that. So I hope that you have enjoyed this, and if you have, definitely like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you again here soon. Until then, be blessed.